ride. It took about an hour and a half to get here. And we are just going to get warmed up now and put the shoes on. Ready to rumble.
Second, but it is all very tight.
Shout out to Conway as well, 106.22.
So, have you had a little bit of time to reflect and let it all sink in?
So obviously last night we finished up. It was a bit of a high, obviously getting into the World Champs in my division, which is what we come over to do initially, but also we come over to get a really good PB time, which we didn't get. So it's a bit of a feeling of two things at the moment, two emotions. Really excited that we're able to go to Chicago and compete in 2 races now, which is what we wanted to do. But I think with all the training that I'd done previously, getting up to this stage, I really wanted to put a really good time and show sort of the work and the results of the process I've done, which we didn't get. So I need to just go back and have a look at the reason. I reckon when thinking about it now, reflection, I reckon I peaked probably a good week early, and then I got sick and didn't really train from sort of Thursday. I didn't really do any sort of good quality sessions from Thursday till pretty much until we got here on the sort of probably Tuesday. So nearly a week there where I was sick, the kids have been sick, and didn't really do any running or any sort of high quality sessions. Considering on the Tuesday I did the simulation back home and felt really good, felt really good in my body, and I was sort of had the momentum going. So I reckon I really lost momentum when I got sick, and then was trying to get that back when I got over here and get some good sessions, but probably didn't get it back as much as I would have liked. So I went in a little bit flat, and then just didn't probably prepare as well on the day with my food, and left that really late, and that sort of stressed me out because I ate probably too soon from what I'd normally do. But in the race, and that sort of impacted, I guess, probably the early on when I had a bit of a stitch. But the race, I felt like I moved really well, so it's a bit of a weird one because I felt like I was moving a lot better than what my time suggests. But the time doesn't lie, so just got to be better in the stations. The sled pull, sled push, I was a minute behind on each of those ones, so that's 2 minutes there. And then just the running, I got to continually get that down. I thought I was running better than what I was, so we've got to find ways to get fitter and get that compromised running, and probably a bit more targeted with my stations, and then also my running under fatigue. So we go back to the drawing board. We've got World Champs in 4 weeks now, so we've got to put a really solid 4-week block in. Have sort of a day to get back to Melbourne now, bit of travel, get back to the family and see them, and then we need to keep the ground running and click into gear a bit, and sort of set a new standard very quickly so we can get up to Chicago and get that time I really want, which is sort of a sub 103, which is, do you know what I mean, taking another 3 minutes off, which is a lot, but it's the time I want to get to. So we're juggling this with also running the Japan run in August, so there's a lot of things happening, but I'm happy we come over here. It was really good memories, really good country I've never been to before, so I'm really, it's a tick of a positive, and we just got to get back and get back to work. Alright, it's time to do a bit of a recap on the South Korea HYROX. We went over there to get a PB, which we were looking for a massive PB of around sort of 103, under 104 definitely. We're looking to qualify for the World Championships in single in my age division. which would mean that we're going over Chicago for 2 races with a day in between. We did qualify for the singles pro in my age group, coming first in that because there was only 1 spot available. So it's a positive with a negative, pretty harsh on myself in terms of where I want to get to and keep pushing myself and not being comfortable and keep putting goals out there that are going to be quite ambitious, but are going to push myself and my mental state and my physical being to the max to get the most out of myself. So that's what I look to do. I have a lot of people go, oh, do you mean don't be that upset? Do you mean you sound... No, it's just I push myself really hard, and I expect things of myself, especially the work I put in. I really enjoyed the process of getting to where I got to, and I wanted to put a performance in that I was really proud of, and got the reward for, I guess, all the hard work. I feel as though it was a really tough race. HYROX races are all different around the country, and they sort of happen every weekend now, and to keep the line of competition level is very hard. I feel like the South Korea one was maybe a little bit slower. I feel like how hard I was working was probably, or compared to other events, would suggest I got a lot faster. Where if you look at like the Berlin one, which they said was obviously a fast course, there was like 40 people that got sub 60 minutes. So things are going to change. Things are going to be very varied. I think looking at my times, and I'll go over this now, but my runs were all down a fair bit considering my previous one, which I have been putting a lot of hard work into my running efforts and my running program to hit the sort of speeds and intervals and thresholds, and also my long, easy runs. Not only for my HYROXs, but also for my Japan run, which is only sort of 13 weeks away as well. So my runs were really, really good. I held back early. In that first run, to sort of it was a 2.5. It was another half a length or half around the course longer for the first one. Felt like I was going at a really good pace. Had to really hold back because they went out really, really fast, and had to make sure that I got to the ski and wasn't absolutely gassed. Ski, Jermaine was pretty bang on. I'm pretty much with these times that they put on there, including the rock zone or getting in and out of the ski area. So I think I did I pretty much stayed at sort of a 150 the whole time for the ski, which included the in and out was a 357, which is exactly what I got in my previous one. I think the big difference is just my recovery and my running ability. So after I got that from the ski, I was able to make up 30 seconds from my previous run in my other event. So running at a 351 pace rather than a 420. So it shows that I'm getting there, I'm getting fitter, I'm getting able to sustain that work. The big ones that were the crucial ones when you look back on my overall time, and I mean you're playing with seconds here, is that the sleds moved really, really slow for myself. They usually are one of my strengths, especially the sled pull, that I've created a really good strength from that. And we're 1 minute down on the sled pull, 1 minute, over 1 minute, and on the sled push we're 34 seconds. It's a lot of time. So it's a minute 30, minute 40 there that I've lost on the sleds. They felt really, really heavy from the start. Wasn't really gliding over the carpet, and the sled pulls I just couldn't get any rhythm, and it just felt heavy. It just felt really, really heavy, and so that were probably the big differences that allowed me to get to the time I did compared to what I wanted to get. But in saying that, my running again picked up. I was running really steady paces. Again, looking at my watch the whole time, I'm running sort of 330, 340 split. So obviously that's not correct in terms of being indoors, but that's what I was sort of gauging off because I didn't wear my heart rate monitor. I left it back at the hotel, which was not good. Burpee board jumps, I got a 30-second, saved 30 seconds from my previous one, and was able to run again the next run really, really well. So I think I ran the next one at 4:06, where last I ran a 4:31 after the burpee board jumps. So again, I'm already saving a minute there with the burpee board jumps and the next run. The rower, pretty much exactly the same. The farmer's carry, again, exactly the same. It's just about, I mean, the run after the rower, I saved 24 seconds on my last one. So again, I'm saving those 30 seconds 20 to 30 seconds on each run, which is what I needed to do to get to the time I wanted to get to. It's just the stations really let me down, and it was good to see some improvement in areas, but when you lose a minute 45 already on the sleds, it puts you back from getting that 103 to a 106. You've already lost nearly 2 minutes. So, and then my lunges, was able to save 45 seconds. I know now when I feel like as the longer the race gets on, I feel more comfortable, better. So at the start, it's all firing, there's a lot of emotions and everyone's getting really fast and going out probably too hot, obviously because they can sustain it. But I feel like I'm learning how to adapt after each race. My sandbags were, again, a lot better, knowing that I've only got one more run to go, and to really go for it after that. My run after the sandbag lunges was like a 4:15. I was pretty knackered, but again, it's my last run. And then my wall balls were probably, they were a good 23 seconds more than what I did in my last race. So that's not ideal. I really struggled with that one. The rock zone was quite short, so I saved a minute on there. And these are the different things with the different events. And then, overall my running has improved a fair bit, but it needs to get a lot quicker. And I need to make sure that I'm utilizing my strength components while doing those sort of HYROX sessions, the sled pulls, the sled pushes under fatigue. And I've got to make sure my training over the next 4 weeks replicates what it feels like to be in the arena on HYROX day, because it's a totally different kettle of fish and you're at that zone the whole time. So there's no point training a different sort of zone or different intensity, because when you get to the race day, you're putting yourself right up there. So the idea for the next 3.5 weeks before we head over to Chicago with the family and get set up over there is to make sure that my intensity sessions, my runs or my workouts here are done at a certain intensity that replicates what it's like on race day, to make sure my heart rate's at that level the whole time, so I'm able to sustain it come race day. Again, we come for a bit of redemption, I think, in Chicago, as we want to get as close as we can to a 103. We want to make sure we're getting that PB we deserved, and we're going to continue to keep working hard over the next 3.5 weeks to do what we need to do to make sure we feel fresh going into race day. So we're locked and loaded for Chicago in 3.5 weeks, and we're ready to rumble. So hopefully you can tune in over the next sort of 3.5 weeks. I'm going to show you what I'm doing to train for the World HYROX, to see if I can get that 103, and also our pro doubles event with Kieran. I'll show you exactly what training we're getting up to make sure that we can both hit a massive PB on that. We want to go as large as we can in terms of what we got from our Sydney HYROX in doubles to then World Championships.
Coming in at first and qualifying for the World HYROX Championships with a record of 106.22 from Australia, Coach Conway. Cheers, Dylan. Congrats. All right, great work, gentlemen. Great job. Congrats.